What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Shaw and Steele Show. Just had a crazy first round of the college football playoffs. So, with that being said, Steel Chambers, let's get into it, man.
Let's do it. Going to have some stuff to say today that a lot of people aren't going to like.
All right, well, give it to me. What do you want to start with?
No, those are for the two other games.
Okay, all right. So let's start with this Alabama-Oklahoma game. It was the first playoff game Friday night. 34 Alabama, Oklahoma 24. 50 Cent walks the Sooners out. I mean, crazy game. What did you think with this one initially?
So weird to have such a change in script as far as Alabama getting dominated for about a quarter, and then just one or two plays later, they capitalize on some mistakes, and then all of a sudden it's tied up in like 3 or 4 minutes. Next thing you know, they're just dominating for the rest of the game. So I've never seen such a change in, I guess, mentality in a team in just a couple plays. But they went out there, they showed everyone in the committee that they deserve to be in the playoffs, and now they're about to go play the number one team in the nation and try to keep this thing going.
Yeah, I think when you look at this, what stood out to me and kind of being able to sit on it is kind of experience between Alabama and Oklahoma. Alabama, I know it's DeBoer. I know it's kind of new players and all that, but they're still Alabama. They're used to being in these big-time playoff games. They're used to the emotions of it all. And for Oklahoma, I didn't feel like they really handled it well. I thought Oklahoma got caught up on that kind of emotional roller coaster, came out with 50 Cent or whenever he performed, was all fired up. It's a playoff game at home. You could tell they came out with some serious, emotion to them. And then once the wheels started to fall off the bus, they went totally flat. Flat. Now, Steele, we talked about this. What is the sequence that changed the game, in your opinion?
It started off with the Robinson drop. That should have been another 7 points on the board, so almost like a 14-point swing within a couple minutes. So Robinson drops the ball, and then they drop the snap on the punt. You give Alabama fantastic field position, or like the plus 30, 40, whatever it was, and then they capitalize on that by going for it on fourth down. They get the touchdown. And then at that point, it's just a game of momentum, and they just rode that momentum like nothing else I've ever seen before.
Exactly. And then how about Brooks?
What was it, like 24 unanswered points?
Yeah, it was insane.
And then they have Brooks with 2 touchdowns. Was he a true freshman?
Yeah, true freshman.
A true freshman goes out there, scores a couple touchdowns in the biggest game of the year. I mean, that's awesome.
I know, and we talked about it. It was 17-17. Brooks had already kind of started to get going. But there was a stretch where there's drops, both sides. Williams, he's been dropping the ball all year long. Don't know what's going on with him. Then we saw some drops on the Oklahoma side, and we were like, who's going to step up and be the guy? And Brooks definitely was that guy. What did you think about Mateer versus Simpson, Steele?
I love Simpson.
Yeah.
We've been ragging on him the past couple of weeks because he's getting slaughtered back there in the pocket. But this offensive line, they gave him a little bit more time to diagnose the defense and really sling it. And that's what we talked about last week as far as keys to winning this game. And they gave him the time. He was able to stand back there in the pocket, make some great throws. And he looked like his old self from like the second or third month of the year whenever we were saying he's going to be the Heisman.
Right.
And then Mateer, he got off the spot a little bit. There was a little bit of pressure in the second half, but he just wasn't making a lot of throws.
No.
He only has a fastball. He has no
touch. Everything into it.
Yeah, like it worked on that one on their last touchdown on that little dig route just because he could sling it at like 70 miles per hour.
Right.
Besides that, he can't have any touch trying to hit someone on a fade ball. It's hard to watch.
And he has risky decision making. And he holds on to the ball. Some of those sacks he was taking was bad. I mean, he's holding on to the ball, and then his eyes are going right down to the rush. I feel like when I compare them to, they're kind of similar, but I feel like Simpson is the much better version of that type of quarterback, and I think he showed that.
Yeah, and Mateer, he almost plays kind of like Kyler Murray used to back in the day, where he's just running around in circles, but he does not have the same physical attributes as Kyler Murray. And he's not 5'9", so it's impossible to chase him around. So he's running around. These Alabama guys, they're big and athletic. They're going to get him sooner or later. And he just wasn't able to make the same plays that Simpson was.
Okay, now Alabama moving on to the Rose Bowl. Steele, we're going to dive into it all right before those games. But initially, what's speaking to you here?
It's going to be closer than I previously thought, but Indiana's going to pull this off. They're just the more balanced team.
When I look at it, I'm with you. It's going to be way more closer than I thought because I'm a big believer on how you finish games, which we're going to get into this later. How you finish games bleeds into the next one. In Alabama, they might have unlocked they definitely unlocked some serious momentum. They might have unlocked a lot of other stuff too. And if they come in, I expect Alabama to start very, very hot against Indiana. So Indiana better not, which the only reason I don't think they're going to is because of Cignetti and Mendoza. They're extremely grounded. But if Indiana comes in a little sloppy, Alabama will get on them quick. All right. Anything else with this one?
All right. Yeah, we'll leave more talk for the next episode for that matchup. I'm excited for it.
No, I'm excited for it too, dude. Overall, it's been great. It's been a great start to the playoffs. It could be way better.
The first couple games were good, yeah.
Yes. So let's look at that second game. Texas A&M, 3 points. Miami, 10 points. Miami gets it done. I'll start this one off. Fletcher Jr., that's all I got to say. That running back, Mark Fletcher Jr., that guy, he was the tone setter. That guy was the leader. We saw with the other freshman, spectacular freshman Tony, when he had that fumble, Fletcher was the first guy to talk to him, first guy to boost his spirits. And that defensive front. Steve, I'll let you hit on that defense. But watching Ruben Bain and Massador and those guys, I thought Miami was a better football team. I thought they were a more physical football team. I thought they deserved the win, and they really impressed me. Now, I know it was 10-3, but they really impressed me.
It was sloppy at times, and a lot of people said it wasn't a good game. But if you understand some of the schemes that were going on the defensive side for both of these teams, it was fun to watch.
Heatherman dude, that guy is a real deal DC.
I know. Did you see like what they were in the last play?
Explain it to me.
It was a simple man-to-man, like you have like a high rat, low rat, and everything, but the running back stayed in the block. So they had 3 rats just all like on the same level right in the end zone, making it almost impossible to find a window.
Exactly. And that's 13, another true freshman. I'm blanking on his name somehow. 2 picks. I mean, you got young guys making plays, Steele. You got more young guys making plays than ever. What do you think's the cause of that? Because NIL, they got to get on the field faster? Or do you think it's like development?
It could just be evolution of human beings. I mean, nowadays you've got Myles Garrett's walking around that look like literal gorillas on a football field.
Yeah.
So I think these guys are just coming out of high school more prepared, and they're just showing out and getting a chance to perform earlier in their career, and that guy did it right there.
What do you think about Texas A&M? Texas A&M just got to be absolutely besides themselves.
They had such a good year. We both love Elko so much and what he's done with this program, but it's the same A&M team that we've seen the past 4 or 5 years. They just got a couple more wins this year and got in the playoffs.
Right.
Marcel Reed, he cannot protect the ball to save his life. We talked about how him and Beck is going to be a competition to see who can protect the ball, who can at least be some sort of game manager and let these outside players on the wide receivers and running backs work. And they lost Moss early on, so that definitely hurt him a lot.
Yeah, that hurt him big time.
But early on, he couldn't get to Craver. He couldn't get to Conception. And whenever he finally did, he still showed instances of not protecting the ball, throwing it like way behind his receivers. You saw it on that one cover 3 look, and then at the end of the game. So it comes down to Reed because the defense played well. They were fantastic on third downs, only gave up like 10% of all third downs to Miami.
Right.
You hold a team to 10 points, you got to win this game. So it's on the offense.
Yeah, and it came down to the trenches. Miami being able to establish that run game, really let Beck he didn't have to do pretty much anything. He just had to take care of the ball, not turn it over. And if they can do that against Ohio State, I don't think they're going to. I think that game, early prediction, it could be another 10-3 football game, in my opinion.
No, not 10-3.
It could be another. I'm saying it ain't going over 40 points. It ain't going over 40 points.
I'm not sure. Well, first of all, for this game, what I liked about Miami, they were able to make the adjustment. Like you said, they stopped going to the edges with Carson Beck and all these screens and the outside runs, and they focused on going right at the teeth of the Texas A&M defense. They needed to do that, and it worked out, even though they didn't score too many points.
Right.
But looking ahead to the next matchup, Ohio State is going to force Carson Beck to win that game, and with all the exotic looks that Patricia's going to give him, he's gonna have to throw the ball downfield a little bit, and he's gonna make some mistakes here and there, and they're gonna capitalize. I won't get into it too much. That's for next episode. I'm excited too. Matchup.
I'm excited as it gets, man. Yeah. I'm ready for it right now. But early preview, I think Miami's defense is going to handle its own, create a lot of pressure on Sand. Now, Jeremiah Smith and Tate could light him up. I don't see it happening, and I'm with you. I think if I'm Miami, I'd give the ball to Fletcher 40 times and see if he can get something going. But if they shut that run down early and just can't get anything going and Beck has to throw the ball, that's going to be a problem.
They got K-Mac holding it down in the middle.
I know. Dude, that guy, man, he is unbelievable. It's going to be – that's definitely the most excited matchup I'm looking forward to. Okay, Steele, let's get into your favorite games. I know you're just so happy to see Ole Miss beat Tulane 41-10 and to see Oregon. Oregon pissed me off. Well, let's start with Ole Miss Tulane. Oregon pissed me off big time. But let's start with Ole Miss and Tulane because Ole Miss, they look good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even want to talk about these games. Okay. Mind if I rant real quick?
You rant. I'll sit back.
So, everyone that's saying the G5 still belongs in the playoffs, at least this year, you have no idea what you're talking about. It was never made more clear that there's such a big talent gap between the Power 4 and the G5 than what we just saw Saturday night in those last two games. And it's for a couple reasons. First, the whole NIL transfer portal period. In this era, if you're a good player in the G5, you're going to leave. You're going to take the money. What's it called? Byron Brown, a couple hours ago, he just transferred out of USF. Knowing that Heartline's about to bring a whole bunch of receivers to the table for him to use, he's going somewhere else because he performed well this year and there's tons of money. And then second, all these other big programs, they've just got more money to work with so they can pay their players.
Yeah.
So the idea that the G5 should belong is ridiculous because all their good players are moving on and they're just left with guys that coming out as 0 stars. And yeah, there are some good stories here and there, but overall, they're not going to match up with the talent of Oregon and Ole Miss. Yeah. And like a couple times throughout the years, you can have G5 teams in. Boise State last year, they should have gotten in. Cincinnati a couple years back because those were solid teams that were ranked high. But to say that the G5 teams this year belong, it makes no sense because it's like comparing apples to oranges as far as these Power 4 teams and then the shit we just got.
Exactly. And still, you hit the nail on the head. And something that Nick Saban brought up, he brought it up after our show, so I don't believe we talked about it, is he talked about how, Joel Klatt compared it to a Cinderella run in March Madness. And even that you're going to start seeing less of those with NIL, but that's more likely to see because you can go find it. Theoretically, you can find a guy off the street to come in, get hot at the right time, and light up a big-time program and drop 40 and win. But you can't go find in college football as a small program a guy to go block a Reuben Bain or a guy like that. You're not going to find those big physical dudes. There's only a couple of those that exist, and the NIL is eating those guys up. Those big programs are eating those up. So Saban said that it's more realistic, like a AAA, and I want to ask you this because you're the baseball guy, a AAA team playing a World Series in the World Series.
Yeah.
How would that would never happen, right?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So that's the gap. That's the gap. And you hit the nail on the head, Steele. The gap's only getting farther and farther apart. So group of 5, we respect them. It's kind of, they're in a weird spot. They are, better than the FCS. They are good programs. I lost to a group of 5 school, unfortunately. I lost to Tulane. So, but that gap is only going to get farther and farther and farther. They got good players, but those good players are bouncing. So this has got to be the last year it's done. And to kind of segue into the next one, everybody's talking about how JMU put up a fight. Put up a fight. That pissed me off. And Oregon, if I was Dan Lanning and he was visibly, I would be absolutely besides myself with how my 2s played and how my starters came back and loafed around in that fourth quarter and stuff. I would be besides myself. Don't like finishing a game that way.
No, but either way, they still dominated them.
Yeah.
Like it was all on Oregon. They stopped caring. They're probably looking ahead to the Texas Tech game. But even though they were able to put up like 30 points in the second half, like it wasn't close. No one thought, JMU could come back and win this.
Right.
And that's what makes me so pissed about it is Tulane and JMU, for the talent that they have and what they have on roster, they played decent games. And they still got absolutely demolished. Like JMU, a little sluggish, like in the very start of the game. But overall, they both played solid games for their rosters, and they still get killed by 30, 20 points, whatever it was.
Exactly. They're maximized. Now, JMU, credit to them. They were throughout the game, even in the first half, they were driving the ball down the field. So Oregon, they got to get that shit fixed. But you are right. The twos, we've been in games. At Ohio State, we're blowing pretty much everybody out. You get up big, you get taken out for a bit, and then you're supporting the young guys, you're supporting the backups. You're locked into the game, but you're messing around, with the guys who are playing. You're having a good time. The next thing you know, they give up a touchdown. The offense goes 3 and out. They give up another touchdown. And then all you're hearing is your coach saying, okay, one's back up. And you got to try and find a way to lock back in. And that can be pretty hard to do. So I don't know. If you're Dan Lanning, are you mad at your Ducks team?
I'm mad at them, but at the same time, what they were doing to that JMU defense was, I don't want to say that word, but it was highway robbery.
Oh, yeah. Benson, I tell you, Oregon scares me because of Malik Benson. Number 4, he's provided, since the USC game, he's really providing some explosive elements to their offense. And it's Oregon, that offense looks real good right now.
It was 4 plays, 75 yards, 5 plays, 67 yards, 5 plays, 80 yards. And
then Ole Miss against Tulane, they went 3 plays, 75 yards to start the game?
The thing with Ole Miss Tulane, I don't think they did anything beyond maybe day 3 install. They took some shots here and there, but the plays they were running, I mean, you could have a Pop Warner team run those plays.
Exactly.
That's not at all the game plan that you go in against a Georgia or a Texas Tech, Ohio State. But you're able to do that against Tulane because they're Tulane. And you did it so easily.
I know. What I keep saying is, imagine we watched Oklahoma, Alabama. That was a good football game. Good atmosphere, good game. You go into Texas A&M, Miami, a little sloppy at times, but overall, I really enjoyed it. The ending was great. Imagine if you would have gone into a Ole Miss, Texas, or Ole Miss, Vandy, and then you go into an Oregon nightcap, Oregon Notre Dame nightcap. I mean, that is what a playoff should be. That is exactly what a playoff, the college football playoff should look like, and that would have been absolutely epic.
Yeah, because every given year, there's 3 or 4 teams that people think can win it. And then the rest of the field, the 7 or 8 other teams, people might not be confident that they can win it, but they can imagine them getting to the quarterfinals, even possibly the semis.
Right.
But in those 2 games, there's not a single moment in either of them where people thought, oh, Tulane and JMU, they can actually do this and pull it off.
Yeah.
And it's such a disservice to the fans because I know probably a lot of people just tuned out after the second half. I hope a lot of people did, so they realized, okay, no one's watching this because everyone's watching NFL football.
I did. I put that Bears-Packers game on.
Exactly.
100%. That was an insane game. I put that Bears-Packers game on.
So I hope they see that freaking drop in views after the first half and realize it's not just a disservice to the fans and some of the players on those smaller schools getting embarrassed.
Right.
But it's also just a financially dumb decision.
Yeah. And you bring up another great point, Steele. It's about, those guys. People are making the argument that those players deserve to get into the playoffs. They deserve it. They earned it, blah, 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 blah. They don't deserve to go on a national stage and have Dave Portnoy circle out a guy and be like, how is this guy playing in the college football playoffs?
Yeah.
He's circling a guy from JNU and saying, how is this guy playing in the They don't deserve that. That kid don't deserve that. I mean, that's messed up. So that's got to change. That's got to change. And then there's people on there who are saying, well, look at Oregon last year. Look at Tennessee last year.
That's the dumbest argument ever.
The dumbest argument ever. It's clearly they're outmanned, they're outmatched, and that's it. That's point blank, period.
For those 2 games, Tennessee, Oregon, that was against Ohio State pissed off. You're not going to get too many teams like that just for that span of 2 games like they were playing.
Exactly.
And then there's a thing called getting steamrolled. If you get steamrolled sometimes, maybe you come off a little sluggish. The other team is firing on all cylinders, and they can put up 21 points like that. Yeah. And at that point, it's just hard to dig yourself out of that hole. And that's what happened in those 2 games. On Saturday, that was just completely outgunned, outmanned, outmatched. That's what it was. It's not the same.
Yeah. All right, Steele, let's get in. So next week, just to clarify, or whenever they are, New Year's Eve and New Year's, you got Ohio State, Miami in the Cotton Bowl.
Beautiful.
Indiana, Alabama in the Rose Bowl.
Love
Beautiful. Ole Miss, Georgia, Sugar Bowl. I'm very intrigued by that.
Awesome.
I'm very, very intrigued by that. And then Texas Tech, Oregon in the Orange Bowl. I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now.
I've got a question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
To help with bowl games and the teams that are right outside the college football playoffs, what are your thoughts? Actually, no, just what do you think about having this second round of games being at campuses, and then you take those bowl games that they're taking up and you let them be played by the teams right on the outside?
Yeah, still, I think the college football playoffs should be its own thing. I think it should be like the NFL, that you're on the road. There's a home campus. I think every round should be campus. I think every
not the
semifinals. Put the semifinals on campuses. I mean, that's true. That makes every game worth it, and it just ups the stakes for the regular season. First
round and quarterfinals, I agree. Those should be played on campuses because the teams that got buys kind of sucks. You're losing out on so much money because you can't host a game.
Right.
So you get to host a game there, and then in the semifinals, you get to play wherever the game's played, whether it's the Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl, wherever. And then I hope that they change it where it's the Rose Bowl that they play at every single year for the championship.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl should be the championship every single year. The Rose Bowl was phenomenal.
But if you do that, you've got 3 New Year's Six games that you can maybe if Notre Dame decided to play this year and you gave them a New Year's Six Bowl, they'd probably do it.
No, Steele, you've been on fire today, man. You're making points that I cannot dispute. You hit the nail on the head once again. If you free up some of those bowl games, which this will never happen, I think, because of sponsors and all the money tied up with that. But Notre Dame is playing. That makes it it eases the pain a little bit. You get a New Year's Six game, like it eased the pain for us to go to the Rose Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's not going to ease the pain to go to the Pop-Tart Bowl. No disrespect, it's a cool trophy, but there's got to be more something to these bowl games, to these kind of first 4, first 6, first 8 teams out of it. So I'm with you. I would have every round up until the championship. The championship at the Rose Bowl, every round, home away. That's what I would do.
I don't know, because then all your New Year's Six games, none of them are going to have a possible national championship in it. That kind of takes away from it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so you're saying that at least some New Year's Six bowl game should be in there.
It would be the same as whenever it was the 14 playoffs. So semifinals, two New Year's Sixes, and then one last one to end it, the Rose Bowl.
Okay, yeah, the Rose Bowl. Man, they need to do that. There's so much they need to change. And you actually segued me perfect, because I don't know if you saw this. You've been busy on your tape talk. You've been grinding, man, breaking down that film. But Notre Dame and USC, they're not playing next year. This is a historic matchup. They're not playing.
Did they cut it out?
They're going to reevaluate after like the 2026, 2027 season. I'm hearing that it probably won't take place till at least 2030. And my understanding is this. Got the dogs over here. My understanding is this. Notre Dame, all for playing the game. USC, all for playing the game. The problem came down to, when is the game going to be played? USC said, we're not playing Notre Dame at the end of the year. Why not? We don't want to go to Indiana. We don't want to go to Penn State, or Ohio State, Washington, Oregon. That's who they play next year. And we don't want to play Notre Dame the last game of the year. We'll play Notre Dame, but like a normal non-conference beginning of the year. And I think that makes sense to me, and I understand that. Now, I want them to play the game, but I understand that.
I don't understand it one bit. What do you mean we don't want to? Are they scared of the snow?
No, Steele. No, they're not scared. First off, they're not. They get Notre Dame next. But if you look at these SEC teams, and it's a SEC gauntlet. I'm not hating on the SEC. The SEC went through a gauntlet this year, but then they play shitbox State at the end of the year. True?
That's not the same. Alabama going through a schedule where you're playing 5 opponents ranked in the top 15.
Steele, that's basically what USC has.
Okay, wait. Give me USC's top teams.
I'll pull it up right now. I'll pull it up right now for you.
Do not compare USC's schedule.
No. I'm going to compare it. Trust me, Steele. Okay, so we'll skip the first 2 non-conference games. They go on the road to Indiana.
Okay.
On the road to Penn State.
Okay.
They go on the road to Rutgers. on the road to UCLA, on the road to Maryland. That's a 3 easy game stretch. Rutgers, UCLA, Maryland. But then they come back and they play Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
They play Oregon.
Yep.
And they play Washington. And then they go on the road where you've played here at Wisconsin. So they got Indiana, Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Washington, and Wisconsin. And now they got to find a replacement for Notre Dame.
No. Yeah. Play Notre Dame at the end of the year. Stop being soft. They're being soft.
But with
we're playing too many hard teams. We don't want to add another snow game against Notre Dame. No.
Okay, Steele. If you're a program and you watch Texas, now Texas had other problems, but let's say Texas dismantled Mississippi State. Let's say Texas didn't lose, I guess lost to Florida. Even if they lost to Florida, Texas got penalized for losing to Ohio State in a non-conference game. Why, if I'm USC, would I play an out-of-conference game against a very quality opponent against Notre Dame? Why would I do that?
Because you love ball.
I would do it. You're right. 100% I would still play the game.
I personally think it's going to change. They're going to do something with these automatic bids. They're probably going to cancel them out, maybe just the Power 4, hopefully, maybe even cut out the ACC. I don't know. Yeah. And then they're going to get the 12 best teams in. And, yeah, you can go through a crazy schedule and maybe come out 9-3, but that still gives you somewhat of a chance, especially with the new rules that they might be implementing. So I think they should do it. I see no reason in being scared, running away with your tail tucked at old Notre Dame.
I mean, listen, it does drive me crazy because I want them to play the football game. I do understand where they're coming from, but if it were me, fuck Notre Dame. We're playing you. We're gonna beat your ass. I don't care when and where. We ain't worried about we ain't scared about not getting in the college football playoffs. We think we're the better program. We're gonna play. But with that being said, I can't understand the reasoning.
So you're still playing next year? It's the year after?
No, they're not playing next year. They're done playing. Notre Dame already announced they've replaced USC with BYU. So Notre Dame is playing BYU next year in 2027. What do you think about that?
I was scared for Notre Dame because they're losing one of the few big-time games that they're going to have all year, but they replaced one team with another that's kind of on the same level.
Okay, that's so disrespectful. BYU is not on the same level as
who's closer to getting in the playoffs this year?
Okay, Steele. Let's go
made a conference championship this year.
All right.
BYU.
All right, let's go through the schedule for Notre Dame next year. They open up at the Packer Stadium, sick game, Wisconsin. Then they play Rice. Then they play Michigan State, Terrible. Purdue, North Carolina, Terrible. Navy. This is the only tough stretch. 2-game stretch. Miami, SMU.
Their hard 2-game stretch is Miami and SMU.
Miami, SMU. Then they go Syracuse, Boston College, Stanford, cross SC out, and put BYU.
That's horrific. And they're gonna find a way to get into the 12th spot. They're gonna get
also. Technically, still, USC was not running away. USC say, we'll play you, but play us at the beginning of the year. Notre Dame kind of needed that matchup.
No, you guys ran away because you're scared of the cold.
Oh, my God.
You have to play at the beginning of the year. You just have to.
Yes, play us week 1 of the season. Week 0. Start the season off. Let's see who had the better off season. Let's see whose training program was better. Let's see who's the more physical group of guys. Play us week 0, week 1 of the season. Put the ball down. Don't play us after we just went through that tough ass schedule, traveling all over the freaking country, and you're playing ACC teams. No disrespect, I like Miami, SMU, but don't do that. Play us, put the ball down week 1, and let's see where the cultures stand.
That's some soft shit you're talking right now.
Still,
you think what? You think there just aren't hard games at the end of the year for these teams? Everyone's doing it. No, but you guys don't want a hard game at the end. You want a cupcake game to say congratulations on the good year? Is that what you want?
Steele, no, I don't want that. I'm in a.
So why are you sticking with USC?
Because I can understand their point in doing it because I blame the college football committees, and you should too. You shouldn't be blaming my Trojans.
I blame you.
You blame me personally?
You personally. You need to fix this shit.
All right. Still
unacceptable. You're their spokesman here, as far as I know. So do something.
Still, okay, all right. I will put in a phone call and saying you guys should still play the game because I do think they should still play the game, but I do understand where they're coming from. No more, no more.
One last thing. First of all, it's an awesome game. It's a cool
It's
rivalry.
a sick game. It's one of the best games I've played in.
Ripping it away.
All right, so you're pissing me off. Not you personally, but the situation that has me pissed off. And I made the whole situation has me pissed off. Steele, do you have anything else you want to talk about today? And it can be from anything. I'm still feeling the talkative mood, so.
How about the Odyssey?
Dude, I cannot wait for that movie to come out. I haven't watched the trailer. I heard the trailer dropped, but I've already been so pumped up. You're talking about the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Christopher Nolan? Yes, I cannot wait. That's going to be the best movie of the year.
Do you know like the full story with Odysseus and whatnot?
Yeah, I know. I read the book in middle school. I read the book in middle school.
I read the book about 3 months ago. Fantastic.
I might have to reread. I definitely got to reread that before the movie comes out.
I'm curious.
And it's got a great cast too. Doesn't it got Holland and Damon and all them?
Holland, Damon, Berthol, just a bunch of people.
Oh my god!
They got old Frank Castle in there.
You're lying.
Yeah, he's in it.
Oh goodness gracious! Hey, that we can bring that up. How about Cade and Tommy going against each other? I wish we had to film for the show. Apparently, did you see? They went head to head. Cade and Tommy. Yeah, on kickoff they went head to head.
No, my buddy just got engaged yesterday, so I was at a thing with him.
Man, every one of your friends, other than our group, feels like you have some sort of wedding or engagement party or something every weekend.
I've had probably 3 or 4 in the past month.
You've been on the last month and a half, 2 months. You've been on the road, dude.
Yeah, I'm just doing shit.
That's it. You're living. All right, Steele. That's it, man.
Yep, that's all I got.
All right, brother. Good episode.
All right.